tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can restore hope, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who lead with love, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love,
Hi, my name is Hannah Henry, and at the age of 12 years old, I passed for Bishop Anstey High School. At the time, I didn't have access to a laptop, and my mom couldn't afford it. But thankfully to the UNC government, I was able to have access to one, and it was so much easier to not have to worry about sending in my assignments on time. And I'm so grateful. Thanks, Auntie Cams. When UNC wins, everybody wins.
I retired in 2002. When I retired, my pension was $1,000 from NIS. When Mr. Bissessa came into power in 2010, my pension rose to $3,000. Now I'm hearing PNM say, if you have money saved, they could take away your pension. I can't wait to vote UNC again. When UNC wins, senior citizens like myself win.
My son Josiah, when he was born, he was diagnosed with a life-threatening disease. And a friend told me about the Children's Life Fund. Thanks to Kamala and the UNC government for making it happen. He was given a second chance in life, and now he's in Form 5 and he's able to sit CXC. Take it from me. When UNC wins, everybody wins.
Hi, my name is Hannah Henry, and at the age of 12 years old, I passed for Bishop Anstey High School. At the time, I didn't have access to a laptop, and my mom couldn't afford it. But thankfully to the UNC government, I was able to have access to one, and it was so much easier to not have to worry about sending in my assignments on time. And I'm so grateful. Thanks, Auntie Cams. When UNC wins, everybody wins.
I retired in 2002. When I retired, my pension was $1,000 from NIS. When Mr. Bissessa came into power in 2010, my pension rose to $3,000. Now I'm hearing PNM say, if you have money saved, they could take away your pension. I can't wait to vote UNC again. When UNC wins, senior citizens like myself win.
My son Josiah, when he was born, he was diagnosed with a life-threatening disease. And a friend told me about the Children's Life Fund. Thanks to Kamala and the UNC government for making it happen. He was given a second chance in life, and now he's in Form 5 and he's able to sit CXC. Take it from me. When UNC wins, everybody wins.
Hi, my name is Hannah Henry, and at the age of 12 years old, I passed for Bishop Anstey High School. At the time, I didn't have access to a laptop, and my mom couldn't afford it. But thankfully to the UNC government, I was able to have access to one, and it was so much easier to not have to worry about sending in my assignments on time. And I'm so grateful. Thanks, Auntie Cams. When UNC wins, everybody wins.
I retired in 2002. When I retired, my pension was $1,000 from NIS. When Mr. Bissessa came into power in 2010, my pension rose to $3,000. Now I'm hearing PNM say, if you have money saved, they could take away your pension. I can't wait to vote UNC again. When UNC wins, senior citizens like myself win.
My son Josiah, when he was born, he was diagnosed with a life-threatening disease. And a friend told me about the Children's Life Fund. Thanks to Kamala and the UNC government for making it happen. He was given a second chance in life, and now he's in Form 5 and he's able to sit CXC. Take it from me, when UNC wins, everybody wins.
Everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace. Vote for love. Vote for hope. Vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can restore hope, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who lead with love, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins.
On the 28th of April, I want you to come out in your numbers and put your X by the rising sun. I know it feels like we won already, but believe you me, it have many more work to be done. Madam, do you hear me? Trini, do you hear me? People, do you hear me? And then I know you hear me. We say come out in your numbers, more work to be done. On the 28th, vote for the rising sun. Father, me thank you for leaders with vision, people on a mission, UNC politician. Look at myself, Dr. Michael. We all agree under the UNC. Life as a Trini will be more stress-free. Put your ex by the rising sun. San Fernando West, me say your time has come. Dr. Michael, down like we endorsing for a better TNT. UNC must win. Put your ex by the rising sun. Come and vote everyone. Come and vote everyone for the UNC. Put your ex by the rising sun. Come and vote everyone. Come out and vote everyone for Dr. Michael. Do you hear me? Trini, do you hear me? People, do you hear me? Hear them turn Trinidad and Tobago into their new plantation. It's nothing more than sufferation and taxation. It's time to vote out this administration. Man, we give them the chance to run the country. The only thing them did is tax and fight we. They make things hard, they make it grimy. It ain't hard to see them not like we. But we go vote them out, vote them out. Them a mess. Hello, is it good right now? Vote them out, vote them out. Them a mess. Yeah, them the time you know. We go vote them out, vote them out. Yeah, them. Hello, is it good right now? Vote them out, vote them out. Me say your time runner. We don't want to see the PNM in government 10 years in power, and PNM don't make no sense. Where is your evidence of your accomplishments? They want to trick the anti like we have no sense. But when you question and ask them, so what they really do? Them have no clue I'm talking to you. No time for you walk right, it's time for you to see. How much time them raise gas and whip the treasury. Man them get here with murder and walk the road free. It's time to vote them out the anti. vote them out, vote them out. Them a message. LOC code right now. Vote them out, vote them out. Them a message. Hear them the time you are now. We go vote them out, vote them out. Hear them. LOC code right now. Vote them out, vote them out. Hear them. Me say your time you are now. I say we fed up with them, no bother with them, don't trust them, don't vote for them. Anyway we see PNM, we avoiding them. Send them a message. Cause we go vote them out. I say we fed up with them, no bother with them, don't trust them, don't vote for them. Anyway we see PNM, we avoiding them. Cause we go vote them out. Vote them out. Cause we go vote them out. Vote them out. Them a message. LOC code right now. Vote them out. Vote them out. Them a message. Hear them the time you are now. We go vote them out. Vote them out. Hear them. LOC code right now. We go vote them out. Vote them out. We go vote them out. Vote them out. Come and we vote them out. This election, make the right decision. When UNC win, everyone wins. Cause we go vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace. Vote for love. Vote for hope. Vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, struggle is a way of life for most of us these days. Murders every day and night, so no, we don't feel safe. 10 years gone and no betterment. It's time for a change of government. The best choice for you and me is to vote for the UNC. Cause when the UNC wins, everybody wins. We need to make our country safer. The time is now, don't wait for later. Cause when the UNC wins, everybody wins. Time to stand up for a future with KPB and the UNC. Every day we watch and wait to see what happens next. And every day things escalate and we feel the effects. Retrenchment spread like bushfire and the murder rates getting higher. On April 28th, let's make a change. BNM must get fired. Cause when the UNC wins, everybody wins. We need to make our country safer. The time is now, don't wait for later. Cause when the UNC wins, everybody wins. Let's...
Good evening, everyone. Check. 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 Are you hearing me? All right, well, the sound man there, so go ahead. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You hearing me now, right? May I ask our speakers to come to the front row, please? It's 7 p.m. We advertise a time of 7 p.m. and therefore we will be starting promptly. Give me 1 minute, let our speakers come to the front. Thank you. Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ken Emrith. I'll be your co-chair this evening for this meeting right here in the Pagoda car park in the great constituency of San Fernando West. May I ask all of us to stand for the national anthem and pray.
Love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Almighty God, most beneficial and merciful, Creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country.
Amen. Thank you. You may have your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters of the constituency of San Fernando West gathered here in the car park on Independence Square, Pagoda Car Park. It's an honor and a privilege to stand before you at this crucial moment in our nation's history, when voices must rise, when action must speak louder than fear, and when truth must prevail over lies. Tonight, we have the distinct pleasure of having a leader who embodies integrity, service, and action, a fighter for the people, a bold voice for the voiceless, a person who has never forgotten where she came from and who has never stopped working for where we must go. San Fernando West, as we meet here, we are privileged to have a leader above all leaders in Trinidad and Tobago, in the person of Kamla Persad Bisesa. It is a true honor to gather here this evening in support of a candidate who shares those values. Inspired, no doubt, by our leader, a leader who has been on the front line for every battle for justice, equality, and most importantly, the future of all our children, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar. She has dedicated, I said, her life to public service. She has shattered barriers and paved the way for generations to come. But beyond titles and history, she has always stood for one thing, for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. As Prime Minister and as leader of the opposition and a proud member of Parliament for Superior, she has fought tirelessly for better infrastructure, safer communities, and real investment in our people. Through her leadership within the UNC and her government, every promise has been backed by purpose, every dollar well spent, and every voice uplifted. Tonight, it gives me great pleasure to kick off this meeting here in the San Fernando West constituency. May I present my co-chairman for this evening's meeting. Put your hands together. He really needs no introduction. We see him every morning with our regular doubles and coffee segment on Facebook. He is a fighter himself, former Minister of Sport. Put your hands together. Make some noise for Senator Anil Roberts.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins.
Good evening, UNC family. Good evening, San Fernando West. When the Douglas walk with paper, you know it's a serious thing coming. I don't normally walk with paper. So let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Trinidad and Tobago has changed. They have realized that the PNM is a wicked, evil, heartless, selfish, greedy party. And that they only go there to enrich themselves, to recuse themselves, and to make their friends and financiers richer. They pretend that they care about people. They give you crumbs and they take the whole cake. They tell you when there's no food on the shelves that you could have almond milk. They are disconnected. They want the rich to get richer and the rest of us to get poorer. And we must put an end to that on April 28th. There is a man, well, so they say he's a man. Me ain't take no DNA tests and all them kind of thing. A fella walking around San Fernando West asking you to vote for him. The only thing that has gotten bigger on him is his chest and his muscles as he tries to impress you with brawn rather than brain. He was the worst Attorney General in the history of Trinidad and Tobago before the last Attorney General Limo, and this one, he moved from gold to bronze based on the PNM selecting the worst of the worst. Camille has now removed him from that position. But Faris Al-Rawi, a.k.a. Johnny Sukaran, is walking around San Fernando West saying, please vote for me. Give me a job again for 5 years. Well, let's analyze the benefits that Johnny Sukaran, Faris Al-Rawi, has gotten in the last 10 years. That you, the people of San Fernando West, gave him the vote. Faris Al-Rawi wants your vote. And over the last 10 years, he paid a salary as Attorney General and Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, an average of $40,000 a month. Over 10 years, that's approximately $5.2 million. Faris Al-Rawi also, while using your vote, went into the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago. They brought a cabinet note, his friends and them, to rent his building, which was incomplete, for $23.5 million every 3 years. They paid him $38 million. He said he recused himself, so he stepped out of the room to have a coffee and doubles, and then came back in, and his friends approved $38 million of taxpayers' money to outfit his own building. The PNM, the party of which he was the Attorney General and is now the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, then rented that building for 3 consecutive terms at $23.5 million, totaling $70.5 million. So when you add up that, plus perks, plus the profit made on selling 2 Porsche, one that he lied up in the parliament, and making a profit of $600,000 on each one based on tax-free concessions of the job that you gave him, you voted him in, that's another $1.2 million. So over the last 10 years, Faris Al-Rawi, aka Johnny Sukaran, has made a whopping $148.2 million for himself. And now he comes to you to say give him 5 more years to make another $74 million. That is not what public office is about. Kamla Prasad says in the UNC about serving the people, not serving yourself. Let me give you a little perspective, because Faris Al-Rawi walked down on the train line and in Mbakadere, that basically citizens of lower means live there. People who are struggling to survive, people whose salaries are small, people who are struggling to feed their children and provide an opportunity for them to join society and be successful. Faris Al-Rawi and his $148.5 million in the bank walks down in Mbakadere and says, vote for me. Look, I gave you bricks for your house. Well, let me work out some of the maths for y'all. A CPEP laborer, before they got a slight increase because election was due in 2025, so for the first 9 years of the PNM, a CPEP laborer will make $765 a fortnight. That is $1,530 per month. For a CPEP worker to make what Faris made, the CPEP worker would have to work 96,863 months in order to equal Faris' revenue from being a PNM minister and recusing himself from the cabinet. 96,000 months. That is equivalent of 8,072 years. That is how long the people who he is forcing to go to meetings and telling them to vote for him to give him a job, how long they will have to work to make the money that he made. 8,000 years. Could bring back dinosaur. Now, per year, I'm breaking it down for y'all because the insanity and the ludicrous nature of Faris Al-Rawi, Stuart Richard Young, and these hypocrites who have used government to enrich themselves, coming to tell you to vote for them. It is ludicrous, and no human being should ever vote for that. Whether it's PNM or not, vote them out on April 28th. Per year. I want to write down this, because I want to only talk it on the road and talk to people in the pharmacy and the grocery and the market. And when you're going to drop your children to lessons, let them know that Faris Al-Rawi, as he swore in to be a minister in the cabinet, made an average of $14,820,000 per year. A CPEP worker makes $18,360 per year. Faris Al-Rawi earnings can pay 807 human beings working on CPEP for a year. 807 mothers, 807 fathers, 807 human beings. He took all that money for himself, but is coming to tell you to vote for him. With the recent increase from $765 a fortnight to $965 a fortnight on 1st November 2024, the CPAP workers moved up to $1,930 a month. That is 76,788 months a CPAP worker will have to work to make the money that Faris make. Y'all, is this not boggling your mind? 76,000 months, we can't even understand what that is. 6,399 years poor people will have to work to make Faris money. But Faris coming to tell poor people, vote for me on April 28th. I say everybody, vote out Faris, vote for Dowlett, vote for the UNC on the 28th. And it's not done there. The PNM walking around. They're giving PNM supporters a jersey with $300. All right. Take the 300 and vote them out. But let us work out how much Faris, how much a vote is worth. Because if they're telling you your vote is worth 300, let us calculate how much a vote is worth to Faris. In the 2020 election, Faris Al-Rawi and the PNM got 8,457 votes. The monetary value per vote is $17,523.94. So when Faris come and he give you $300, tell him he's 17,200 short and vote UNC. Don't take no jersey and no 300. This is disrespectful to human beings, to people. This mamagism must stop. The lies of the PNM must end on April 28th. And it starts right here in San Fernando West. Far less, I ain't bothering to calculate what Stuart Richard Young, his father Richard Young, and Angus Young make. If all you want to calculate $5.38 billion, divide by 3 over 10 years, and work out that. Them should be PNM till they're dead. Because with that kind of money, them might live forever. But it doesn't down there. Now we go to Faris Al-Rawi as minister. He have the RDC. They just create this. They create this and give him money to spend, to serve the people. Let's see if Faris Al-Rawi, RDC, and Kazim Hussain, PNM, former minister, if they serve the people. The RDC gave out 147 contracts. And during the tenure of Kazim Hussain and Faris Al-Rawi, the engineers estimate, when you do a tender, the engineers, the bright people, let's do a little estimate, and then the tenders will come in, and they will evaluate and see who will win. Well, all these tenders, 147 contracts, somehow the people who bid was real bright. They come in close. They nearly get it exact. There's only a difference of 1.5% or 3.5%. Normally you may see a gap of 10, 12. So somebody might assume somebody knew something. I don't know. Maybe the contractors, all of them just very good. But there's a big problem. Because when you check who get contracts, and they gave out $257,928,438.90 worth of contracts. But everybody who get contract is a friend of Faris, working for Faris, or in Faris campaign. For example, the company documents show that 4 people close to former Prime Minister Keith Christopher Rowley, Kazim Hussain, Faris Al-Rawi, and Renuka Sagramsingh Sukral got contracts from the RDC. Now you must also understand, the RDC's vision was you get contracts in the community, And community contractors will get a small contract, build the community, employ people in the community, and uplift everybody. But not the PNM. Them greedy, them cranny, them must take contract. People from Bayshore building wall in Sanssouci. Man from Cuba building thing up in Laventille on the Lady Young. However, Faris Al-Rawi was the substantive minister. His constituency chairman, Mr. Alvin Mohammed, his campaign manager, Terence Bipat, all your South people know these people better than me. So tell me if I'm lying. And his cousin, Mrs. Priya Sukaran Singh, have all received contracts from the RDC during the tenure of the minister under Faris. America's Marketing, which is a company associated with Mr. Alvin Mohammed, received 6 contracts between the period 25th May 2022 and 30th August 2024 in the sum of $11,270,460.38. This is Faris Al-Rawi's close team. This is how they say they want to serve you. Then they walk down on the train line and give you $300. I am showing you that the PNM is corrupt. The PNM does not care. The PNM is greedy. And you must vote UNC because when UNC wins, you win. Everyone wins. This has to stop. It continued. When the bid on these contracts, the engineer's estimate was $12,408,000, and they bid $11 million, just about 9% difference. Mr. Alvin Mohammed, again, is associated with a company known as Zorina's Maintenance and Landscaping Company. They received 8 contracts. Why one company had to receive 8 contracts? Why 8 companies couldn't receive 1 contract? Because the PNM is corrupt and greedy, and that's why you must vote them out. You must tell them, when you come by me, I didn't get no contract. Where my 8 million? Where my 6 million? Where my 23 million? Where my 148.5 million? Faris, we cannot continue like that when you have a man like Dr. Dowlett who's coming to educate children, to share the resources, to uplift the people. Vote UNC and vote strong. Mr. Terence Bipat, who's also employed at Udicott. So he employed at Udicott, he have a big salary, 30, 35, 40,000. So he good. He not hungry. He not suffering. Right? But he's the campaign manager of Faris Al-Rawi, a.k.a. Growth Hormone. And he's the owner of a company called IESL Engineering Limited. This company received 2 contracts between the period May 24, 2022 to 28 June 2023 in the sum of $1,388,920.07. On top of its substantive post. These men greedy. Them just want to eat steak and lobster same time, and they wouldn't choke. Mr. Bipat is the chairman and or member of the famous party group number 38 in South. All your Sando people will know, whose members have spread their financial tentacles throughout the state sector, are also receiving contracts. While Faris Al-Rawi was the minister, is his cousin Priya Sukaran Singh. These people, this greed, this nepotism, this wickedness, this evil must stop. The cabinet is not designed for you to take decisions to enrich yourself. The cabinet is designed, like Kamla Prasad Bisesa as a prime minister, bringing a children's life fund to save 153 children's lives with over $200 million. That's what the cabinet is for. Kamla Prasad Bisesa went to cabinet, increased funding for football from 3 million to 20 million for over 5,600 workers and footballers in Trinidad and Tobago. Kamla Prasad Bisesa and Tim Gopi Singh took your money and built 106 schools for you, the people. She built aquatic center, cycling velodrome, tennis center, 89 recreation grounds for you, the people. Kamala's cabinet was not about enriching friends and family. The PNM is sick and they need to take a rest. And on April 28th, all of us must vote them out. So it is really disdainful, disrespectful, disgusting for people like Faris Al-Rawi to even walk the streets and ask people who are suffering, people who have lost their jobs because their decisions closed down Petrotrin. And people lost their living, they lost their houses, they lost their cars. Some men lost their wives. They couldn't support their children. Businesses shut down. Fence line communities break down. Nail tech, restaurant and bars. Everybody's shut down and in pain from decisions taken by Faris Al-Rawi and his cabinet. But he enriched himself. He's a rich boy now, $150 million. And he coming to ask you for his vote. When he come, say, Faris, I want my $17,568 first. Otherwise, I vote in Dawlat because Dawlat cares, because Dawlat would rule for us, because Dawlat would help our children, because Dawlat would educate our children, because Dawlat would bring safety, Dawlat would bring security. Dawlat is the man for San Fernando West. On April 28th, San Fernando West is UNC. Vote Dawlat. God bless.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins.
Boy, that man reminded me of them cricketers. You see, they open the batting like that. It's a powerhouse. It's a big team we have tonight. Let's hear it one more time for Anil Roberts. So, we moving along quickly. I want to say welcome to all our Facebook friends who are looking on, and the thousands of you who are looking on the YouTube channel. Welcome, welcome to San Fernando West. Welcome. In a short while, you'll be hearing from our winning candidate, Dr. Michael Dowler. But before that, we have a few people to come and speak to us and speak with us. Tonight, we have a young lady who is a tireless worker for the United National Congress. She's an older man at the San Fernando City Corporation. I'm told that when you're in opposition there, it's difficult, it's hard. They push you down, they give you nothing. But she's been fighting all along. She is a businesswoman par excellence. She is the chairman of the San Fernando West Executive. Importantly, she is the treasurer of the United National Congress. Put your hands together. Let's welcome older woman Viliana Ramuta Singh.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins.
Our political leader, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who is watching remotely, Deputy Political Leader, Dr. Rudal Munilal, and other former members of Parliament present, members of NATEX, distinguished guests, my brothers and sisters in the house of the rising sun, San Fernando, how are you feeling? The energy is high in the heart of our great city. The wind of change is blowing, and in 10 days we will enter a new caring dawn of governance when Dr. Michael Dowlat is named as our new Member of Parliament and our political leader, the Honorable Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, is returned as Prime Minister of this great nation. And ladies and gentlemen, this is because for the past 9 years, while they were apparently gaining experience, we have been swept into a state of dismal abyss by a wishy-washy, talky, absentee representative. The MP, who is the Minister of Local Government, watched as the City Corporation was starved for resources, operating as a fraction of its allocation. Citizens are clamoring for basic infrastructural upgrades, and maintenance, but instead every 5 years we get pie in the sky grandeur talk that will never materialize. Our nation is in crisis. Crime is rampant. The economy is faltering. Healthcare is in shambles, and corruption is at an all-time high. Despite our demands for the PNM to do the job that we have been paying them to do, they have chosen political games over meaningful action. You would recall some of the MP's 2020 election promises. The Chancery Lane Administrative Complex proposed completion date September 22, never started. Lady Hills Road widening project, half of the road is a gravel track, and the only positive there is the little children from the wharf playing cricket at the dead end on that Lady Hills Road. Plaza San Carlos, it never started. I went to look for this Plaza San Carlos shopping complex because he said he had completed 10 out of the 11. And the security from PTSD ran outside. She said, "Mom, that wall is going to fall on your car. Drive up, drive up." Never started. Mbakade Indoor Basketball Facility, never started. Mbakade Multipurpose Complex, never started. Magistrates Court, the site is all iron and vines, all run down, dilapidated, lot of land, blocked by galvanized, never started. Lady Hills by the Sea, never started. But who could afford the 3.5 million penthouse apartments with a view of the cemetery? Skinner Park, $200 million and no football allowed. Intercall matches have to be played at the Lewis Street Recreation Ground, built by our very own candidate, Dr. Michael Dowlett. A $140 million hospital car park, while our family and friends sleep on chairs for days at a time in the hospital. No medication, no machines working, doctors tired, nurses frustrated, poor health care. This brings me to Faris Al-Rawi's comments. In the media yesterday, as he handed over 10 houses in Marabella, he promising these people in Bayshore this duplex condominium estate for 10 years now. He handed over 10 houses in 10 years. And he compared it to a resort. What, he said in his interview, what has Michael Dowlett built in San Fernando? Mr. Alwari, first of all, Michael Dowlett is not the member of parliament for San Fernando. You are. You are. And if you had visited Naprima College, Mr. Alwari, while he was principal, you would know Michael Dowlett is a citizen extraordinaire. He has dedicated nearly all of his life to holistic and educational development of young people. The growth of Naprima College under his leadership is a testament to his competence and ability to turn vision into reality, to implement plans and to turn policy into action. It is no surprise that Faris is not aware of Dowlett's accomplishments as his really spoken presence, his presence, rare presence is at Press Fest once for the year. That's all he knows about anything that goes on with high schools in San Fernando. The Press Fest, right, where you go and pose and do a TikTok. Our esteemed city deserves to be better represented by a distinguished man of integrity, whose developments are not only apparent in the infrastructural development at Naprima College, but in the generations of students who he has influenced as an educator. We need an MP who has a track record of service, not style, to be present, to listen, to help, to care. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last train to San Fernando. It is our last chance to stand up against neglect, wastefulness, and vanity projects that bear no relevance in our lives. We deserve a government that prioritizes the safety and well-being of its people, not one that makes empty promises while failing at every turn. The time for change is now. We have done it before, and we will do it again. We have a plan. Together we can build a brighter future for Trinidad and Tobago. When Dr. Michael Dowlett wins, our families win. When Dr. Michael Dowlett wins, San Fernando wins. Our political leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, will bring back a astute and caring governance to Trinidad and Tobago. When UNC wins, everybody wins. On April 28th, vote UNC, vote UNC. Long live our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Forward to victory, forward to victory. Backward never.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins.
The PNM is running scared. Poll after poll. They are now discussing how bad is the defeat going to be. But as an Olympic coach, I tell you, I don't care. Yes, we're in the lead. Yes, we're going to blow them out. But now we have to work harder. We have to make sure we get out there and spread the message. We have to walk more. We have to greet people with respect more. We have to get the data. We have to put our cars in place. Our polling agents must be very trained. We must know to mark the ballot boxes. We must monitor the ballot boxes because they put PNM returning officers. They put PNM presiding officers. They want to thief the election with Fernando and the EBC. We must watch them very carefully. We must protect our democracy. So yes, we are on the road to victory. We're going to win a big one, but we want it to be bigger across the board. And one of the seats that is coming into play, that people like me who have studied politics since 1978 coming forward would say, boy, we never had a chance. In 2010, when the People's Partnership was being formed, I was planning to go up against that Dwayne in Diego Martin Northeast. But the amalgamation and the negotiation of the Congress of the People and the UNC got Diego Martin Northeast. So I was talking to my campaign manager, Jerry Hadid, and a young, he's passed now, Reverend Fabista Chubby David. And Jerry Hadid said, Anil. I said, boss, where we going now, boy? I was planning to go for the Dwayne. I was planning to take him on the hills, all up in Paramin, and burn him out. He said, well, Anil, Patrick Manning in San Fernando East. You are the #1 talk show host with Sprangalan in San Fernando. It will be interesting. Go and take a... I said, Jerry, me here walking into a catastrophe just so. Don't talk no nonsense there. I have to have a little chance. So then I ended up, long story short, I went up a tax sharer up in Dabadie, Mira, and what was a safe PNM seat, we obliterated her out of there as a Minister of Finance. I say that to tell you tonight that San Fernando East is coming into play. The gap is narrowing. That the wave of discontent, the wave of love and care, the amalgamation of people of different ethnicities, different races, religions, it is bringing San Fernando East into play. Brian Manning is not Patrick Manning. Brian Manning is being run out of every street. Brian Manning did not serve the people, but a man who is coming to serve the people for San Fernando East, a man on the ground. Please welcome the candidate of the UNC and the next MP for San Fernando East, John Michael Ali Bokas Maka Milia.
Everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Love, 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 everybody. The Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, political leader of the United National Congress and the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Chairs, UNC executives, UNC candidates, my campaign manager, Mrs. Wendy H. Lewis, thank you. My campaign team, members of the media, members of the armed forces and security services, San Fernando and environs, good evening. I am truly humbled to be granted this opportunity to address you all this evening. At this crucial juncture in our beautiful Twin Islands Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Brothers and sisters, we are all at a T-junction. Some of you all have walked, some drove, and some were transported. But we are all here because this is our country. This evening, I would narrow it down to my constituency, San Fernando East. Life, brothers and sisters, is about change. Some things change as a result of growth, and some things remain the same. Firstly, let me address what will remain the same. I am currently the councillor of Marabella West, and the same passion, drive, love, and integrity that elected me into office as a councillor is the same passion, drive, love, and integrity that I bring on my mission to take San Fernando East to another level as your next member of parliament. San Fernando East, my heart bleeds. And when you hurt, I hurt. Your needs are my needs. Your goals are my goals. I have been on the ground with my team for months. Yes, I did not wait for the bell to ring. I, John Michael Ali Bokas, was already on the ground hearing the cries of the people. With commitment and consistency. Allow me to repeat this. I did not wait for the bell to ring. Several problems have been raised and highlighted, and I assisted where I can. What is still baffling to me, and I am sure baffling as well to the late Honorable Patrick Manning, is the deplorable and unacceptable state of San Fernando East. When I can climb 3 floors in Orchid Gardens, Pleasantville, to meet a young man in a wheelchair with one leg amputated, the next leg medically challenged, to hear from him, his mother, and how many times they have literally begged HGC to be relocated for ease of access and comfort. How many times they have tried to meet with the sitting MP in the past 4 years. Failure. Failure. How many times they're still waiting on this man to come by the doorstep. I literally sit down with the mother and she cried to me. Where's the compassion? Where's the love? Where is the care for people? San Fernando, something is wrong. Something is wrong. I have a heart to serve. We gave them a hamper and ordered a prosthetic leg soon to be delivered. That took me 48 hours while Brian Manning still even visited people by their house. Failure. On the 29th of April, the morning after his cocktail, we'll ensure that the wheels are in motion to guarantee that young man's relocation. He has never seen the sitting MP. Failure again. Now, when we say sitting MP, that doesn't mean you must literally sit there. It means you need to get up, walk up, man up, and do what you said you will do, which is to serve the people. Brian Manning. Failure. Where art thou? You're like Adam in the garden, hiding only, studying memes, lies, and propaganda. You failed that young man. Failure. I am still on the ground. Walk with me. I want to touch my peeps in Torradale. How can an elderly woman with both legs amputated, living alone, be begging for a street light so she can at least feel a sense of security for the past 1.5 years? Only get lights fixed with Maca Pass. Maca didn't pass in the night, you know. Maca passed in broad daylight. And Maca didn't wave behind a van, you know. Maka stopped, walked in the yard. Maka walked up the stairs in every building, one to one. And also too, went and meet this special woman. Brian Manning, where art thou? Failure. You fail that woman. I still on the ground. Walk with me. I in Monrepo now. Now vet. Well, I wonder if I had time, eh? No jobs. Single mothers with zero assistance. Buildings in deplorable state. So many talented people living in pure frustration in those buildings, wondering when or if change is going to come. P&M till I dead, but broke. P&M till I dead, but unemployed. P&M till I dead, but the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. P&M till I dead, and crime still on the rise. Failure. San Fernando, something is wrong. In Marabella last weekend, 2 gone. They were human beings. Somebody's sons. The youths fighting amongst themselves out of frustration and lack of income. How many more must die? We have cold-blooded murders in a state of emergency. Let me touch on Koki. They created a scene, just like a movie set with the councillors, deputy mayor, and the same MP announcing the opening of a pool in January 2023. Let me tell you something. When I went and see the pool, full of moss. He said that he's seen about his father pet projects. And yes, I did see some pets inside of the pool, some caiman. Failure. If you announce the opening of the pool and you cut the ribbon, that tells me that as you cut the ribbon, you can enter the pool. Not so? True? Failure with Brian Manning. To then fabricate a response years later about the funding and the release, by the way, $1.1 million to fix a pool. Just take out the moss, eh? Right? And the release of said funds for the pool that you open is misleading, unethical, callous, unscrupulous, disdain, and totally unacceptable. Where is the $8 million that they give you to see about all the youths of San Fernando when coming to basketball? Huh? Where the money? 8 million. Failure. You fail the youths of San Fernando East, and you also fail the youths of San Fernando. And I am a true San Fernandian. When you start to ask questions and highlight the issues, the pool is still watching all the residents full of moss. And Cayman. I like that one. And Cayman. The Cayman still there. We have to go and remove that Cayman when we get into power earlier. And notice, they started something this week to mama guy you all. Brian Manning, nobody ain't taking no mama guy from you, brother. Nobody ain't taking that. Right? Brian Manning, where art thou? You're like Adam in the garden, hiding, only studying memes, lies, and propaganda. You fail the residents of Koki. I spoke to a resident who has to pay to use a pool in Pointe-a-Pitre when we're supposed to have this pool open for every resident of San Fernando and in the entire Trinidad and Tobago. Outside my campaign office, the 22 Naparima Miaro Road, brothers and sisters, was the worst patchwork I have ever seen. I want to talk about the situation. I'm coming off the script. Imagine I put my office on Koki Junction, Naparima Road, right? They decide to build their office right next door to me. 3 massive potholes in the road. You will put your office right there. You're watching the potholes every day. They say it's a wasa leak. All right. This leak leaking for about 2 years, going into 3 years, you know. Further down the road, have a next leak, you know. 2 years into 3 years. People swinging onto the next lane. You swear it only have 1 lane when it's supposed to be a 2-lane street road on Miaro, Naparima Miaro Junction. It was just craziness. Let me tell you something. We pave it in less than 4 hours, bringing it to the forefront. Here what they decide to do. They decide now to say, it have a leak there. So they come back the next day, dig it back up after we pave it. After 2 years. 2 years of people going through. What you say? Failure. Drivers like the Matrix in Koke. But they're red and ready. They're really red. The nation bleeding. They're really ready to demit office. The UNC will tackle the crime crisis with intelligence, competence, and purpose. Your children will be safe again. UNC will introduce police officers full-time in schools. The anonymous anti-bullying app, so our children can safely make reports. The UNC will modernize the prison system. The UNC will increase the numbers of safe houses for women and children who are victims of domestic abuse. You're getting back laptops. The UNC will recruit outstanding retired educators. The UNC will expand the cannabis industry as part of our agricultural policy. The UNC is the only key to unlock the desired change required in San Fernando East and by extension, Trinidad and Tobago. You need to wake up early on the morning of the 28th and choose to flip your frustration to hope. Become gainfully employed with respect. Change your lives, not just for 2005, but the generations to come. You will have an opportunity to put your trades to use with entrepreneurial workshops to assist you with starting your own businesses. I cannot omit the EBC, who are clearly playing games with your future. Imagine asking my campaign manager and another agent to sign a blank sheet of paper claiming to not have the correct A45 forms, and when challenged, the form automatically appears. Imagine dismissing the agent, and 2 hours later, you are requesting that they return. Trinidad and Tobago, something wrong. Something really wrong. San Fernandians, we must be familiar with all these different situations and put a stance and put our foot down. Dr. Stephen Ali Bokas and Mrs. Gail Ali Bokas, 2 San Fernandians who have been serving people all their lives, my parents. They were beacons of hope and pillars of strength. Their legacy continues as I proudly walk in their footsteps. I am their son. I am John Michael Ali Bokas. I am San Fernandian and proud. Join the mission, join the walk, join the journey. Let's give San Fernando East the level of service, care, compassion you rightfully deserve. I cannot represent you out of office. I need you to vote for better representation. Vote for change. Vote for your FUL. Vote for a better health system. Vote for John Michael Ali Bokas, your next MP of San Fernando East. As I close, you are also invited to our Sports and Family Day this Saturday at Torridale Field, Trinity Avenue. Come out, enjoy yourself, let us have fun. When the UNC wins, everybody wins. Love, 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 love.
When UNC wins,
God bless you. Good night.
everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's hear it one more time for the winning candidate, San Fernando East. After that speech, Brian Manning must be quaking in his boots. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I want to pay tribute to a young lady who is in. They're going to try everything. You know, people telling me, boy, I find Faris' campaign kind of quiet and like he's frightened. I say, no, he has something cooking and we have to watch out for it. We have to stand up against any attempt to steal this election. What is the code, people? I didn't hear that too well. What is the code? Right. And I spoke about Wendy Lewis, and I have to introduce another young lady. She's a mother. She is a lawyer. She is a well-known fighter for justice, a true San Fernandian. Put your hands together, and let's welcome Senator Jayanti Lakshmidiyal.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Good evening, San Fernando. Let me start by saying a pleasant good night to the honorable political leader and next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Members of the National Executive, candidates, friends. One thing I have noticed here tonight, and I want to tell you, is that unlike your member of parliament, the current and the outgoing member of parliament, every person who will speak to you here tonight is a true San Fernandian. Every single person who will speak to you here tonight lives the life that you live. We walk the streets that you walk. We encounter the same challenges that you encounter. I am a daughter of San Fernando. I am a daughter of retirees who will be facing some of the highest rates of property tax when they get no services delivered by a failed member of parliament. I am a mother trying to raise 2 children in San Fernando who are going to school in San Fernando. And I choose to live here because I love San Fernando. But it is a challenge because we have no access to basic necessary services. Crime is on the rise. Our health care is being neglected here in San Fernando. San Fernando is no longer the pride of the Southland. Under the PNM, we have seen the second city in this country become a shame and a disgrace. We can no longer feel pride when you walk the streets of San Fernando as San Fernandians. And I want to tell you here tonight that between Dr. Michael Dowlat and John Michael Ali-Bokas, the city of San Fernando will return. It will return and take its place of pride and prominence in this country as the second city. They will lift this city back to where it was when you and I were growing up. Many of us, we remember what it was like, what this city was like, how safe it felt, how clean it felt. Imagine the motto of the San Fernando City Corporation speaks to a clean and healthy environment, Santis Fortis. And look around the city today and look at what it has become. And look at the way that they have neglected basic necessities. And you will see for yourself why the People's National Movement have to be removed from office on April 28th. You see, the United National Congress is a party about policies to help and uplift people, whereas the PNM is a party that only knows about policies to help them stay in power. They want to be in government, but they know nothing about governance. And you see the breakdown of governance in some of our key institutions that has led us to where we are today in San Fernando East and San Fernando West. Let me just touch a little bit on San Fernando East. I am very proud of the work. I have walked in San Fernando East with John Michael Ali-Bokas, someone who I have known since we were both children going to Naparima. And I could say, I have never seen a response to a UNC candidate the way I have seen the response to John Michael Ali-Bokas. About a month ago, John Michael sent me videos of that pool that he spoke about. And he said, do you think I should get a closer video? I said, John Michael, something will come out of that pool and bite you. Don't go any closer. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I see Brian Manning has posted, don't worry, we will be reopening soon. And he's posting pictures of the clean pool. So it's only when John Michael goes somewhere, Brian Manning will then show up and get something done in San Fernando East. That is to tell you how much you need John Michael to represent you in San Fernando East. Because he holds no office as a member of parliament and he's already getting things done for you. So when that aquatic facility in Kokie reopens, you have John Michael Ali Bokas to thank for it. And I want to tell you the importance of these things because, you know, I don't follow Brian Manning and I'm on social media. It is someone who I know. Someone who in politics we call the typical nonchalant voter. A person who will vote sometimes, stay home sometimes, very much on the fence. They have no allegiance to any political party. And that person was lighting up and criticizing Brian Manning and saying it is only when you see a stained finger that you might lose a vote that you come and do something. And that person was praising John Michael Ali Bokas. So ladies and gentlemen, trust me when I tell you the ground is shifting and collapsing beneath Balize House as we speak here tonight. The movement of change is coming, and I ask you, I urge you to stand by our candidates and to push forward as we push towards April the 28th and removing this wicked, incompetent government. I want to spend a little bit of time tonight speaking about some of the issues that the UNC proposes to address. And you have seen our manifestos or mini-festos as we call them. I think it's a brilliant idea. They are so easy to read and digest and you could understand. But I want to explain some of the things that we are going to focus on. Our political leader has said that everywhere you go, the length and breadth of this country, crime is the #1 problem plaguing this country. Your present sitting, failed, absent member of parliament, as you would have heard Alderwoman Viliana Ramutasing say, spoke in 2020 about his accomplishments. He boasted about courthouses. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a practitioner. I see other members of the legal fraternity here today who are practicing and they can back up what I am saying. We do not have a Supreme Court building that is functional in the second city of San Fernando. Could you imagine that? There are only 3 Supreme Court buildings in Trinidad and Tobago. Port of Spain, well, they have split it now into the waterfront, but it's still one. Port of Spain, Tobago, and San Fernando. And the San Fernando Supreme Court building has been closed for more than a year. I would say almost going on 2 years. They cannot fix it. He beat his chest and said that he's going to have a state-of-the-art magistrates court for us. When you leave here today, make a right turn and go and see where the old Wassa building used to be. The old dilapidated, abandoned Wassa building was looking better than that site that they have there now with 5 pieces of iron sticking out the ground 5 years later. He has not delivered. We do not have a magistrates court in San Fernando, but they say that they are dealing with crime. Do you know how they have dealt with crime, ladies and gentlemen? For 3 months, your constitutional rights were removed because of a state of emergency, so that they could lock up 53 people and then let out 30-something of them. They could only bring charges against a handful of them, and the charges that are brought were charges brought under an existing law, the anti-gang legislation. They call a state of emergency and suspended your constitutional rights and privileges, where any single one of you could have been locked up without bail, and they could have had serious abuse of your human rights and human rights violations, so that they could keep gangs safe from each other because they had intelligence that they would have a gang warfare. But all of that is just election gimmickry because they wanted to try to suppress numbers. They wanted to try to make you feel a little bit safer on the eve of an election. So now, with 2 weeks to go, they have quietly lifted the state of emergency and just hoping and praying, and I know all of us are hoping and praying, that things just stay as they are for the sake of our children, the sake of our elderly, and the sake of everybody around us. They have no plan. So I want to tell you today things that the UNC knows that is needed. And we have a proven track record of delivery. So trust me when I tell you that these things will be delivered. The UNC passed the legislation when we were in office between 2010 and 2015 so that we could have electronic monitoring. Electronic monitoring is critical to the management of criminal offenses in Trinidad and Tobago. Not just serious offenses like murder and so on, all offenses. Anyone that you suspect may be involved in the types of crimes that are affecting people in the city of San Fernando, like home invasions and otherwise, they could be monitored. The minute you see 2 or 3 people who you know to be involved in criminal activity, and they are now outside of prison, either they have served their term, they are on bail or whatever, but you see them together somewhere, the police should be able to immediately act and go and see what is happening. You should be able to know where these people are. They are priority offenders. We passed the law for it. In 10 years, they have not been able to operationalize a proper electronic monitoring unit. We asked for that unit to come before us in the Joint Select Committee on National Security because we know how critical it is to keeping our people safe to have electronic monitoring. And all they bring and bawling about is funding. They don't have money. They purchased some bracelet. They want some other kind of bracelet. They haven't even hired the staff to staff that unit to monitor people, but they are saying that they are fighting crime. Anybody who understands or who has ever had the unfortunate experience of going to court understands that cases cannot move through the system unless you have all of the supporting evidence and the forensics and so on. In 2018, when Stuart Young, that failure in national security and failure in energy has now become a failure of a prime minister, he went there and he cut ribbon and shake hand and sign agreement in 2018 for the construction of a new forensic sciences center. Up to today, not one blade of grass has been cut at that center. But they had about 3 ceremonies since then to sign agreements and to shake hands all up in the Hyatt and to have all sorts of ceremony and pomp and splendor, spending money, but nothing to be done. While thousands, the last check we had, it was about 14,000 samples awaiting processing at the Forensic Science Center. That is 14,000 court cases that cannot start. And that is why people get frustrated. That is why people die and they never see justice in this country, because of the inefficiency of the PNM. We will build a new Forensic Sciences Center. The political leader has already identified space, and I want to tell you about how many resources, because of malice, not just the Couva Children's Hospital, but right very close to us here, the Debe campus has not been opened because of the malice of the PNM. And these are things that exist that you, the taxpayers of this country, would have funded, and you are now being deprived of the benefits that can come to you from those places that would have been built and delivered by a UNC government because of the malice and the wickedness and the spite of the PNM. We will change that, my brothers and sisters. The UNC has been consistently lobbying for more CCTV cameras and the maintenance of those cameras. I get the crime reports on most mornings. I get the crime reports and I can read about things that happen all over the country. Police officers sometimes share them with me. Other people will call me and tell me about things that would have happened. And in many cases where you have sexual offenses taking place, rapes, robberies, home invasions, when the police canvass the area for CCTV footage on the public system, not private systems, public systems, there are cameras installed, but many of them are not working. Imagine you are a victim of crime and the only chance you have for justice is when the police might be able to find the CCTV that could help convict somebody, and there's a camera installed, paid for by you and me and all the other taxpayers of this country. But the PNM have failed to maintain those CCTV cameras, and they are not working, and therefore they could be of no assistance to the police. We are still trying to fight crime in 2025 the way we did it in 1980. Go and look for a witness who could identify an offender and hope that they show up in court 10 years from now when it's time to give evidence. The UNC understands that we need to modernize the criminal justice system. And if you look at our manifesto, if you look at our plans, you will see that the emphasis is on that modernization, on the use of better technology. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to you here tonight, many people are asking the question about where we're going to get the money from. I am more interested in where the money has gone in the last 10 years, not where the money is coming from. That is the question that you need to ask yourself when you go to a polling station on the 28th of April. But I want to say something, and our leader has spoken about it. If you simply cut the corruption and the wastage that you see under the People's National Movement. You will have money to invest in modernizing our criminal justice system. You will have money to give a living wage to our workers, our teachers, our nurses, our public servants. You will have the money. You will find the money if you simply cut out wastage in the short term. And as I get to the point of wastage, I want to speak a little bit about something that is a landmark in San Fernando, but it has become something of a true, I don't even know what is the word, but it's a true crying shame at what our hospital has become under the current management of the Southwest Regional Health Authority and Terence Dialsing. You would have heard on Monday night in Pinal, Dr. Bodo, the former chairman of the Southwest Regional Health Authority, who delivered that San Fernando Teaching Hospital in order to give life to the vision of Kamala Persad-Bissessar when we were in government. He spoke about the failure of the PNM to build a cath lab. Today, I see Terence Dialsing has come up with what I consider to be the lamest excuse in the books, saying that the reason the cath lab wasn't built is because they have to retender because of the procurement law. Dialsing, who you really think you're fooling? The PNM did not implement the procurement law for 8 years. When we left government, tenders had already gone out for the construction of that cath lab. He came back and he retendered. I don't have to tell you why. You know, who get the contract for them is more important than the thing actually getting built. So they retendered since 2016, I am informed, they retendered. The procurement law was not proclaimed until 2023. So from 2016 to 2023, you never found the money in your capital expenditure to build a cath lab that could save the lives of people who get a heart attack. And that is supposed to be the flagship health institution in the Southland, servicing hundreds of thousands of patients in and around South Trinidad. And they have failed to deliver it. And they are running out of excuses so much now that they have come with these lame excuses in front of you. But it is worse than that. There are so many cases of wastage taking place. Today, I receive information that this beautification project, maybe you all might have seen your failed member of parliament and they are saying posing like if they're posing for Papa Penta Paint's advertisement with two paintbrush somewhere last year. The elections in the air, so they started a project of beautification. Today, I have seen messages being sent out to all the district health facilities under the Southwest Regional Health Authority to send staff, technical staff, to come here and help them finish hang curtain rod, to help them finish put up suspended ceiling, because they are putting up a suspended ceiling and fixing and staging the third floor, which hosts the NICU and prenatal and labor and delivery and so on, because before the end of the week, the minister is due to visit the San Fernando General Hospital. And this raises a number of issues. They have now decided to fast-track this project because of elections. The project had a set completion date of August because all of them, even them didn't know elections were going to come so soon. But they are falling apart, so they were forced to call the election, and now they are forced to try to fast-track the project. So they are staging an area, and they have pulled the resources out of all the district health facilities to come to papi show the media, just like what they did with the Central Block in Port of Spain. I want to ask our media personnel in this country, when you go to visit with Dialsing and Al-Rawi sometime this week, please ask for a tour of the complete ward. Please ask, don't just go to the little cubicle that they're showing you and they're telling you to photograph. Do your duty as part of the fourth estate in this country and do a proper tour of that facility. But right now, if an oxygen line is damaged in Siparia or a critical water line bursts in Princestown, technical staff have been pulled out of those facilities to come here to paint and hang curtain rod. And I kid you not, I have seen the messages. They actually say they need help to hang curtain rod around the beds in there, to stage the place so that Al-Rawi and Dialsing could come and papi show themselves. That is what healthcare in San Fernando has become under the People's National Movement. Brothers and sisters, I am limited for time, so I want to just say a few things. You have in front of you, shortly you will have in front of you, and you will hear from someone who, unlike Al-Rawi, is a present person here amongst you in San Fernando. You have the opportunity to change the course of San Fernando when you go to the polls on the 28th of April and you elect Dr. Michael Dowlat to be your representative. Dr. Dowlat is a man with a proven track record of delivery, as you would have heard. He has served this country diligently and capably, which is something that you could never say about the present candidate for the PNM and the outgoing MP, Faris Al-Rawi. Faris Al-Rawi has ensured that everybody around him, you hear them names and he'll call today about people who are getting contracts, that is his inner circle. They have fattened their pockets whilst they are in government, but they have delivered nothing for you. I want to make a special appeal tonight to people who are of my age group. I know many of you all are disenchanted, what they call the millennials and the Gen Zs, but this election will chart the course of your future, of our future. We are the future of San Fernando West. We are the future of Trinidad and Tobago. Do not sit on the sidelines and hope that things will get better. Your vote is your voice. Your vote is your voice, and you must speak out against the corruption, the mismanagement, the lack of representation. And on April 28th, you must elect a proper leader. You must elect a government that wants to deliver. You must elect a man like Michael Dowlett who wants to serve you. And you must elect the United National Congress led by Kamla Persad Bissessa. And let us rescue Trinidad and Tobago. This is our rescue mission for San Fernando, for our country, and for the future of our children. I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad.
Yes, brothers and sisters, that's the talent we have here in the city of San Fernando. Let's hear it one more time for Jayanti Lashmilia. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, Jayanti spoke about millennials, and they're saying that, you know, social media is a big thing now, and we all know that. Our phones, we carry them everywhere we go. And I was just checking something a little while ago. Outside of this big crowd that we have here in the Pagoda car park and spilling beyond into the Independence Avenue Street, I just need a check because I have relatives watching this on YouTube from Florida. And the amount of views currently, live views, for this meeting is 5,700. 5,700. But I like to be fair and say, you know what? Anil mentioned to me that the PNM have a meeting in Diego Martin, and at that meeting is Rowley, Imbert, and Dinobrega, I think you said. So I said, let me check. I like to be fair. They have, just before I came up the steps, 761 people watching them live. We have 5,700 because people know this country needs rescuing and they're interested. And thankfully, all of us here are part of that rescue mission. So on April the 28th, go out early and cast your vote for the United National Congress. How do I welcome this next speaker? He is a man by the people, of the people. He is a former member of parliament for San Fernando West. He's a former minister of works. He's a gentleman. He's a humble man. But I do say that I admire him and envy him because he walks every morning. He'll tell you the mileage. I can't remember. I think it's 6 or 7 miles every morning and the same amount every evening. But he's been walking the length and breadth of San Fernando West. And he's been talking to people. He doesn't just walk. He speaks to people. He stops. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you our next speaker, Sadiq Baksh.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody.
Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessa, SC, political leader of the United National Congress. Dr. Rudal Munilal, Deputy Political Leader of the United National Congress, other members of the executive, candidates, and most importantly, our future Member of Parliament for San Fernando West, Dr. Michael Dowlett. All you wonderful citizens of the city of San Fernando and the constituency of San Fernando East and San Fernando West, united San Fernando. Most of all, the foot soldiers of San Fernando West, led by the competent chairperson, Viliana Ramuta Singh and team. I am simply impressed by the group of people that I met on this campaign 4 months ago. Many of them, Mary, Angela, Viliana, all of them joining with a new group of leaders in Christopher, Anthony, Sparrow, Riyadh, and Rishi. All of them coming together to work for what will be a very glorious victory come the 28th of April. More importantly, I had the opportunity to work and walk with a man who I've known for decades. Never worked with him before. But in working and walking with him, I saw the care, commitment, and concern that he displayed every day. He was always punctual, always present, always willing to participate in what we were doing. He developed a kind of charisma with the ordinary man in San Fernando and woman. He was able to listen to their concerns and discern it, and he found solutions. Whereas other people have 1,000 problems with every solution they got, he had 1,000 solutions to every problem that was presented to him. He was able to inspire not only those who came from the past, but many who are young and youthful and across the board. He was able to attract every color, creed, and race to his campaign. And as I walked and worked with him, I realized that here we have a candidate that will ensure that the people of San Fernando deserve the representation that they long for. He's someone who cares about everyone. I unhesitatingly ask all of us to support Dr. Michael Dowlett as the next Member of Parliament for San Fernando West. As a founding member of the United National Congress from Club 88 to Independence Avenue today, I am certain that all our former members and foot soldiers must now be called to action. The foot soldiers of the UNC can no longer sit on the bylines or pull aside and park. The time is now for all of us to come together and ensure that we make the United National Congress the next government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I ask everyone to recognize that this victory must begin with me. And I recommend to all of us, everywhere, in all 39 constituencies, to begin your own campaign from wherever you are. Ask all your friends and families to come out and call other friends and families to make sure that we make the United National Congress the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. To our political leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, we must elect her as the second female Prime Minister in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And we must do so proudly to ensure that we are assured of care, empathy, and concern, and progress and prosperity for all of Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you very much.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins.
Elections is serious business. There's not no game we play in here. As I look to the front and I see Dr. Lakrambodo, my mind goes to respect, honor. You must honor, respect, and appreciate brilliance, intelligence, discipline, diligence, compassion, work ethic. When you look at the UNC candidates across the board, that's what you see. Now, why do you see that? Because when you have a leader who is brilliant and who has been intelligent at every sphere, at every level of life, you develop a self-esteem that is secure. And you do not feel threatened by other intelligent, brilliant people. So a leader like Kamla Prasad Bisesa will surround herself with people like Dr. Lakrambodo, Tim Gopi Singh, Dr. Chaitan Maharaj, legal luminaries, Jayanti Lakshmidiyal, Sean Sobers, Godong, environmental engineers like Shavana Sam up in Kumuto, Manzanilla. The list is so long, but she finds the most intelligent, most serious, disciplined people to form her team. That is what you must work for. That's what you try to tell your children every day. All of you are parents. You wake up, you ensure your children study. They go to lessons, they go to the sport, the extracurricular. That's what you do because you want your children to be intelligent. But when you look at the PNM, Lord help me. They have a man selected as Prime Minister. I'm glad when he talk. I want he talk twice a day, 3 times in the night, because that man dotish. And then what does he do? Because he lacks intelligence, because he has no self-esteem, because he doesn't feel good about himself, he surrounds himself with people dumber than him, Camille. Convent girl. Marvin Gonzalez. That's who's running our country. It is not no joke. All you save me from stupidity. Please, on April 28th, vote for Daulat. Vote for principle. There are some jobs that are incredibly important. Life-saving, surgery. Teachers impact lives. Pilots fly a plane. Your whole life, your children in the pilot hands. But a prime minister is the most important job of them all. A prime minister is in charge of everybody's safety and security to impact the lives of people through national security, job creation, opportunities, understanding. A prime minister has awesome responsibility. How could you have a selected prime minister saying, I was practicing for 9 years. I was learning. I'm now ready to lead. You were learning while we were dying. You were learning while murders and extortion and kidnapping was rampant. You were learning while the economy was shattering. You were learning while Petrotrin shut down. You were learning while people losing their job. You have to be a madman. So on April 28th, we will let Stuart Richard Young go home to St. Anne's Hospital and take a rest. Because we will vote him out from there too. And in San Fernando West, we will get rid of the man who came to enrich himself. He also not very bright, took an inordinate amount of time in law school to pass exams, became an AG that was the worst until the PNM got worser. We have a brilliant educator who has taught children, doctors, people who become specialists. He has created more intelligent matrix across Trinidad and Tobago than any other. A man who has lifted a school from the doldrums to one of the greatest. He's going to be the next MP for San Fernando West, a proud son of the soil. Please welcome Dr. Michael Daulat.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anil. To our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Senior Counsel. to our Deputy Political Leader, Dr. Munilal, to all the parliamentarians who are present here, all the candidates, all those individuals who have pledged to bring change to the government, the governance of our great republic. My fellow citizens of San Fernando West, good evening. I want to say in San Fernando West, we are at the crossroad. In 12 days' time, on April the 28th, 2025, we have a choice to make. A choice between failed promises and a future of real progress. A choice between a representative who has neglected you for years and a leader who will work tirelessly to rebuild and revitalize our beloved San Fernando West and San Fernando United. Let's hear it for the people of San Fernando. And I want to say I'm so proud that so many people have come out to support us. And I want to pay special homage to the members of the OWTU, led by Christopher Jackman. They have been walking with us, they have been talking, they have been representing. And so tonight, as I stand before you as the UNC candidate for San Fernando West, I want to say I have a long track record of service. Many lives have been molded. Young professionals, entrepreneurs, those who have excelled in terms of developing their global mindset, not only in San Fernando, but beyond. I have walked this constituency and I have listened. Let us talk about the man who is the present MP, with many grand promises. As my friend Viliana said, he boasted about 11 projects in 2020, about creating 5,000 jobs that never happened. He sold you a dream of development, of prosperity, of transformation. But what has happened? 8 of those 11 projects were never completed, or worse, never even started. And what about those 5,000 jobs? This is not just incompetence, it is neglect. It is a betrayal of the trust of the people of San Fernando. 5 years later, we have deplorable roads, we have flooding, we have uncollected garbage, we have crime. Jayanti spoke about that. And no opportunities for our youths. This is the legacy of the present MP of San Fernando West. He spoke recently of someone missing for 3 weeks. He has been missing for 10 years. So it is not enough to give a house, but what about unemployment? Is it good enough to have a house to live in, but have no job? And so, my friends, in San Fernando West especially, we are done with failure. San Fernando West deserves better. And this is what the UNC is here to deliver. When the UNC win, everybody wins. So I want to say to you, and everybody will get our commitment tonight. This is our manifesto for San Fernando West. And I want to thank especially Kenny Luchilip, who headed that committee. When we walked for the last 5 months and we picked up all the issues, all of those are recorded in this manifesto for San Fernando West. And let's put our hands together for that committee who worked on our own local manifesto for San Fernando West. And as your next MP, I'm not here to deliver empty promises. We are here with a plan. We have an approved, published manifesto for San Fernando West. And so, education first. No HGC housing on 3rd Street in San Fernando. We're going to scrap that proposed HGC housing project on 3rd Street. Lands can be found in other areas for housing. We will cancel that PNM's housing plan on 3rd Street to allow for the development of a more sustainable educational district. And we have those plans detailed in our manifesto. We will stop that madness. Those lands belong to our children, our future. I will ensure that 3rd Street remains a school zone and is used for education and skills development. It will become one of the many educational hubs in San Fernando and in this country. There will be enhanced educational opportunities for innovation and technology. We are going to establish an innovation campus in San Fernando West to produce advanced training and skills building programs. This will contain specialized centers for, and so Anil spoke about it, to develop the intelligence of our young people, the future of this country. Programs for artificial intelligence and machine learning, programs for cybersecurity, programs for software development, programs for 3D printing, a design center and a factory for that. And we recognize the vision of our political leader. She always says to us, education is a passport out of poverty. Let's congratulate her on that vision. And so education for prosperity is a path for lifelong learning, good citizenship, and national development. And so in our manifesto, we have spoken about fixing our roads and drainage. Surprisingly, in 2010, 2015, when we walked around San Fernando, everyone was calling the government of the People's Partnership a box train government. And you know what they're asking for? In every street, they're asking for box drains. They're asking for pickup of garbage, of their bulk waste. And so I want to say, as we go through San Fernando West, I will ensure that our roads are paved, our drainage systems are fixed, and our communities are livable once more. And one of the problems we have realized, and Viliana spoke about it, is the underfunding and the under-resourcing of the San Fernando City Corporation. This is why our garbage is not collected properly, why bulk waste piles up, why our drains are clogged. And I've spoken about this before. Imagine we can use that bulk waste from tree cuttings and recycle them as mulch. Give it to our schools to support the agriculture science program and the science projects. Food security is a national issue, and so we have to prepare our youths for a prosperous future. I will fight for proper funding so our San Fernando City Corporation can serve you efficiently. And because of the issues with drainage especially, we are going to start a clean drain initiative to prevent flooding and improve drainage. There are public health concerns related to snails, rodents, mosquitoes. All of these will be addressed. And so, timely road, drain and pavement repairs will be carried out to improve accessibility, and especially for those with wheelchairs. All of our sidewalks will be accessible by wheelchairs. And so I want to say to you, in our manifesto, we talk about a safe and secure San Fernando. We realize that crime is out of control. What has the sitting MP done for us? He has failed to protect us. And so the UNC will bring back the community comfort patrols to ensure safety on our streets. We will work towards legally approved gated communities so our families can live in security and peace. When the UNC wins, everyone is safer, and their homes and their streets will be safe. We have spoken about this earlier tonight. CCTV cameras will be installed in commercial and residential areas. The latest aggression detectors will be provided to enhance business security, especially on those commercial areas. There'll be a review of the firearms legislation to make it easier for law-abiding citizens to acquire FULs for personal protection. And so Jayanti spoke about that. We are working for a safer and secure San Fernando, which will boost business activity. And so let's talk about that modern transport hub on the waterfront to improve accessibility to San Fernando. We have to upgrade that San Fernando market. Last week I walked through that market and vendors were buying from vendors. There was no attraction for the people of San Fernando to come. The toilet facilities were not kept in proper conditions. It was very unsanitary. So today, I promise those vendors that that market will be upgraded into a multi-purpose facility. And one of the things we're really concerned about, especially for the young people and the young entrepreneurs of this country who are seeking knowledge, that Carnegie Free Library, we're going to create a human potential center there. Our Carnegie Free Library stands closed. It is hoarded off. It's galvanized, a symbol of decay under the PNM. There is this big block against knowledge acquisition. I will bring it back to life. That's a promise. Let's restore it to serve the children, the young people, the young entrepreneurs, all the citizens of San Fernando and environs. We'll create a cyber cafe in it and a knowledge center to support our students, our entrepreneurs who want to improve themselves. They will all have access to e-books, to online resources and databases. And we have heard about that cry for better health care. But one of the things that really disturbed me, San Fernando West starts from Sunset Cove and goes up to the Guayacara River. All along we have this beautiful coastline. And that coastline is filled with pollution. And so it's a disgrace for us in San Fernando West. It's polluted, it's filthy, it's neglected. The livelihood of many fishermen are affected by this pollution, together with the high cost of fuel. I will lead an initiative to clean up our coastline, to remove that garbage and restore its natural beauty. This will improve the opportunities for ecotourism. When I spoke to those fishermen, that reclamation process, you know what it did? You know the fish need food to eat. And so when you reclaim that, all of the sources of food were destroyed and they have to go further out. So the fishermen now have to go even further out. It costs a minimum of $1,200 in fuel just to make one turn. And if when they come back, they don't get those, that cost in sales, they make zero. So I want to say to all of the fishermen and the people, all of the young entrepreneurs and those who are unemployed, we are going to promote marine and coastal entrepreneurship. We are going to develop fish farming, boat repairs, and maintenance facilities along the coast. We have walked and we have seen the needs of the people. We're going to support our local entrepreneurs in developing recreational sites. All the young people need those sites for them to go and to meet with their peers. They are locked down so much within their devices and within their burglar-proof houses. And this includes boat tours and water sports. We are going to develop sporting facilities. And right here in San Fernando, the Skinner Park has been destroyed. No international games. And we are going to revisit that and ensure it is re-engineered to bring in international games to San Fernando, right here in San Fernando. And so we are looking at building a cultural arts center to transform local festivals and products into international tourism. But you know that's happening already. On the streets, we met Mr. Junior Bisnat, the Moko Jombi man. Let's give him a round of applause. And you know, I told him, I said, we have these big schools, concrete buildings, But you know, he teaches the youth of San Fernando free. And his classroom is the roadway. And so education can take place in any place, under an almond tree, under a mango tree, in the streets of San Fernando. And so, let me talk a little bit about the waterfront development. In this manifesto, you will see that we are going to attract private sector investments to establish a new industrial park in place of those proposed $300 million HTC high-rise project. This will bring jobs to San Fernando. The waterfront will have a commercial shopping and food district supporting small business entrepreneurs, and secure nightlife entertainment. We know the strip down on Crossing. Water sports facilities for kayaking, dragon boat racing, jet skiing and fishing, recreational entertainment, and for tourists, everyone will come to visit and San Fernando will become alive again. So I say to you as I conclude, it's time for a real representative. My friends of San Fernando West, all of us have been abandoned for too long. You deserve a representative who will work with you, who will fight for you, who will deliver for you. The present MP has had his time. He has failed. He will come again with his fancy words and broken promises. But I ask you, how many more years must we suffer if you accept his promises? Citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, a better future awaits us. A UNC government will improve our daily lives. UNC is a party with a vision for progress and success for every citizen, every family, every community. On April the 28th, 2025. There is only one choice on that multiple choice paper. There is only one choice for us. Vote for the rising sun. Vote for the UNC. Vote for our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who loves you. Vote for an MP who will put San Fernando first. Vote UNC. Vote for progress. Vote for a better future. Vote for Dr. Michael Dowlat. Every child, every family, every community, San Fernando West. Let's build a stronger, safer, and more prosperous San Fernando West together. When UNC wins, everybody wins. Thank you, and may God bless all of us.
Over 6,000 people watching live. PNM and Diego Martin in the stronghold with Rowley, who come off the golf course because they found out that Stuart Young is more disliked than Rowley. Could you imagine that? Them racing to the bottom of the barrel to see who reached first. To members of the media who are locked on, call your friends, call your family, because the man who come in here has a mark to bus are giving all the advance warning. Log on, media, because information are coming. The coalition of interests are joining with Kamla Persad-Bissessar. The PSA, our public servants, WASA workers, port workers, SWTU, across the board OWTU, teachers are joining Kamla, laborers are joining Kamla, young people, culture people, pan people, musicians, educators, everybody is joining with Kamla Persad-Bissessar. How come nobody is joining the PNM? Yes, because you always go to the toilet alone. You understand? You don't go to the toilet and grab. A man who's coming to talk to you, to inspire you. The UNC does not have to force poor people to get in Maxi to come any meeting. That is a sin. If you don't want to hear the PNM, then don't go and listen to them. But the UNC will never force people to support, force people to listen, force people to walk. That is tantamount to bullying. We inspire, we educate, we bring you here because you are interested in your future. Our leader is inspirational, and her team is ready to govern on April 29th, to take a cabinet with merit, a cabinet of brilliant people, because we have a myriad of problems that require fixing, and we must be vigilant. Another brilliant lady on the UNC, Miss Wendy Lewis, make some noise for her. Let me tell you something. I am giving Wendy Lewis a job to teach all of our people in all the marginals what to look for, how to know what is the process of the EBC, what forms you must have, how to mark my ballot box, how to watch it, because the PNM going to try to thief the election. The PNM is going to try to steal the election. Right now, they're 25 down. Tobago gone, they're 27. The PNM trying to hold on to 14, and it look like we're going to take 4 of those. So everybody must be vigilant, because the EBC is PNM. Make no bones about it. So follow, learn. All of us must be bright like Miss Wendy Lewis. The man coming now is an inspirational human being from the deep south. He made his way through Cuchawan, Tres, Pinal, and he came up to be one of the most powerful voices and politicians in Trinidad and Tobago political history. He's a former government minister. He's been a member of the United National Congress since he was 16 years old. He was head of the youth arm. He built more houses than the PNM built in the last 30 years. Please welcome the deputy political leader and the next MP for Orapuch East, the Lion, Rudal Moonilal.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our very dear brother, dynamic Anil Roberts. Give him a round of applause for the wonderful job he's doing. Honorable political leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa and Dr. Gregory Bisesa. Parliamentarians or former members of parliament in our midst, members of the National Executive, candidates, brothers and sisters in this massive hall. Give yourselves a round of applause for this massive turnout in San Fernando. Brothers and sisters listening on the various social media platforms across Trinidad and Tobago, across the world, we are told now we have in excess of 6,000 live viewers at this moment. Tonight is my great pleasure to be here, and to be here in support of a very dynamic, a very able gentleman. In San Fernando West, there is now an epic battle between a man who is worthy and a man who has only words. This is Dr. Michael Dowlett, who is a worthy candidate, running against a man with words. And San Fernandians would have an easy choice. You see, I come here this evening as a voter in San Fernando West, and my choice is easy. I have lived, in fact, you may not know, but I have lived my entire life in San Fernando. I am a quintessential San Fernandian. Born and I grew up and spent most of my life in St. Madeleine. I used to go with my mother in the San Fernando, in the Mukurapo market, in Mukurapo Street, in the market. She ran a parlor in St. Madeleine, and twice per week or 3 times per week, I would take her in a Datsun Sunny to go and buy vegetables and provisions. And we would reach in the market 5 o'clock, and I would wait for her and then take her back to St. Madeleine, where she would open a parlor on the main road in St. Madeleine to sell fresh vegetables, provision, and so on by 7:30 in the morning. I spent my entire life at Grant Memorial Presbyterian School, primary school, and I'm proud to say I am a fine product of San Fernando Government Secondary, MODSEC. I attended MODSEC for 7 years. MODSEC for life. So Dr. Dowlett, I still voting for you. But I'm a proud student of MODSEC, a proud San Fernandian. The PNM feel them alone know San Fernando. So I had to tell them in a debate recently in Parliament that I born and grew up in San Fernando. I push pan in San Fernando. All you ever know what it is to push pan in San Fernando? You're pushing pan up a hill, and then you're holding the pan down the hill, and then you're pushing up a hill. That's San Fernando. We grew up with Dan Steele Hatters, Guinness Cavalier, Vat 19 Fontclair. Those were the bands we knew. We are from San Fernando. We love San Fernando. That is why San Fernando must be returned to the United National Congress. Because we love San Fernando. Brothers and sisters, the jewel that is San Fernando, in the last 10, 15 years or so, the only thing San Fernando has to show as a beacon of development is the San Fernando Teaching Hospital, a stone throw away from here. Built by Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the Partnership Administration. I remember when we opened that hospital, I got a call from a constituent. He said he's sick in the hospital, warded. I said, oh God, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry. He said, but don't worry, I'm in the Hyatt. I said, what? I thought you tell me in the hospital. He said, boy, I'm on the 13th floor in this new hospital. It's like the Hyatt here. I'm looking at the sea, a beautiful view. The place is so clean. The place is so well equipped. I'm feeling I'm in the Hyatt. That is what we built. That is what we put in San Fernando. It is the last jewel San Fernando received from a government. What happened since then? Alwari boasting about waterfront project. Boasting 10 years water. What waterfront project it have here? When you go by Flat Rock, you take a dive, you dive in on rock. When you go down there in the night, if you go now, you see 2 stray dogs and a crapo. So it's a pet project, Maka. There's a pet project too. Like the swimming pool in Koke. You go down there tonight, you will see the same fella selling bacon saltfish. When you go down there, they try to build a highway. You know, today grass growing on one side of that highway. The boys come out in the evening to run a small goal to get a sweat. That is the waterfront project they are talking about. Where is the financial district? Where is the hotel? Where is the housing? Where is the shopping? Where is the tourism? Nothing in 10 years. They take $200 million. Sister Viliana said it earlier. $200 million, not a bill, to refurbish and redo Skinner Park. Do you know today if you have to play football in Skinner Park and you get a corner, you have to run up from by the toilet? You have to go in the toilet and begin the run up to take the corner. You cannot play a football match in Skinner Park. $200 million gone. It's just gone. I am happy tonight to see the former Minister of Works, the Honorable Sadiq Baksh, is here in support. There was a time, the elderly people will remember, there was a time when you had miles of traffic at crossing. Had a roundabout, I believe. You had miles of traffic. And under a UNC government earlier, Mr. Baksh and others built that interchange right there at crossing. That's the last development you had under a UNC government and then under a UNC People's Partnership government. San Fernando has nothing to show under the PNM except a fella who just put on a silk tie, put a towel in the pocket and just talk for hours. Just talk for hours and accomplish nothing, brothers and sisters. Today, what you just wear? No, I can't talk about that. I can't talk about people clothes and things like that. So brothers and sisters, today, the PNM had some function and they come with a manifesto. They want to launch a manifesto and promises to deal with crime, deal with housing, deal with social this, deal with that. They were in opposition for the last 10 years, not us. Anybody listening to that thought they were in the opposition. But Stuart Young was the centerpiece of a government. He didn't know how to fix crime. He didn't know how to fix health problems. He didn't know how to fix the education sector. He didn't know the problems in the energy sector. So do not accept their hypocrisy, their mama guy. They come today with this bag of promises, brothers and sisters. And I don't even want to read or go into that because it is promises never materialize, PNM. That is what it is. That is mama guy on the eve of an election. Dr. Bodo was telling me earlier, they're going to open is the NICU Center in San Fernando, a unit. I want to tell my friends in the press, if you go there tomorrow to the opening of that center unit, please wear a hard hat because the ceiling can fall down on your head. Wear a hard hat. I understand they have made a paper ceiling. They have made some type of artificial temporary ceiling to cover a galvanized ceiling, to cover something else. They are opening one cubicle. In fact, they're cutting a ribbon to open a cubicle. They are getting desperate. Anil, the Red Party is a Red Ants party. They are running up and down like red ants. They buy 500 yards of ribbon. They will cut the ribbon to open a pot of pilau. They will cut the ribbon to open a wall. They will cut a ribbon to open a standpipe. They are desperate. They're coming to cut ribbon in one cubicle, for one cubicle, and they have taken staff from all over the country to work 24/7 right now to open that, and then nobody could go and use that. They opened the central block. They cut ribbon there too, you know. You know, it was 13 floors, but they had one floor partially equipped, partially outfitted, and all the media had to go to this one floor. They put a policeman in the elevator so he couldn't stop on no other floor. And they opened the central block, boasting. It is a UNC government that will have to go and deal with that mess when we get into office, brothers and sisters. It is a UNC government. Today, they are all over the country. They want to cut ribbon. The Marvin Gonzalez fella, Anil has a word to describe him, but I can't use. But he went today to reopen a police station. Now, that's the first one I ever hear. I know he has opened a police station. I never know he could reopen the police station, because when you fix anything, you just open it. He went to cut ribbon and made some statement today. And I want to tell you what he said. He said, this is the Minister of National Security, he said the international security agencies, and he couldn't name them, told him that they're not prepared to work with a UNC government that is coming into power. That's what they tell him, but he couldn't name them. I want to tell Marvin Gonzalez, if that is his correct name, I want to tell him he deserved to be visited by strong, burly white men wearing white coats. He has to be carted away to St. Anne's. That fella is crazier than we give him credit for. He is cuckoo. Attacking a distinguished ex-policeman, Roger Alexander, saying Mr. Alexander don't deserve the badge. Why? Because he joined the UNC. That is where they have reached. They are desperate. Mr. Gonzalez, you should be carted away to St. Anne's for statements like that. I want to assure you that this party and this Prime Minister, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, has the respect of the national security agencies and the international security community. So brothers and sisters, don't take on that rubbish. And in San Fernando, I want to give you a next important message, brothers and sisters. Very important message. Do not be taken aback by third party and fourth party and fifth party and sixth party. All you be very serious down here. They are there to divide the vote in San Fernando. That is their purpose. Today, before I came on this stage, I saw a Facebook posting. Do you know an NTA candidate, I never say it, an NTA candidate, has a poster, and the poster is being circulated, is being sponsored, is being promoted by the PNM. Why would the PNM be circulating a poster for next political party? In San Fernando, you have other people running around here saying that they will vote for them. You have never seen them in 10 years. We struggled against the PNM for 10 years in opposition. We took the humiliation, we took the attack, we took the insult in Parliament twice per week. We stood up, we went on the street, we demonstrated, we marched. Where were they? Where were they? They were busy imbibing and so on all over the place. They were busy enjoying. They were not in the struggle. Today, when we are on the verge of retaking the government of Trinidad and Tobago, they want to be sanding with rice. They want to throw sand in with rice, but don't allow them to do that. Don't allow them to get a single vote in San Fernando West, in San Fernando East. They're going around telling people, you know, vote for us and all type of plans. You ever see one of them attack the PNM? They're attacking the UNC. You ever see they attack Rowley, Stuart Young, anybody? They said the country in crisis. Who put the country in crisis? Who put it? It is the PNM, Rowley, Stuart Young. Stuart Young said the other day, I give a round of applause to President General of the OWTO, Comrade Ansel Roger, who is here with us. Stuart Young, comrade, Stuart Young say, neither him nor the PNM closed down the refinery. So who closed down the refinery? The goat man from Palmaria? The fella selling goat closed it down? The doubles man from Debe closed down the refinery? It is Stuart Young and the PNM closed down the refinery, led to your termination of employment, put you on the breadline, brothers and sisters. Never forget that. Don't forget that at a time like this. I beg you, brothers and sisters, they had a state of emergency, a desperate act. Desperate act. Do you know there were 111 murders during a state of emergency? And they say, oh, it was a success. It was a success. It did well. 111 murders during a state of emergency. They said that was good. We like that. Do you know as of today, there are 114 murders in this country for the year? State of emergency did not help. It was a knee-jerk, desperate reaction from a desperate government. And they are talking rubbish all over the country. Camille Robinson Regis, now I don't like to talk about this person at all. I really don't like to. But somebody circulated something and by accident I opened it. And she wondering under the UNC government who will act as prime minister and who will act as prime minister and who will act. WPC, Camille Robinson Regis, you are in parliament for 20 years and you never act one day as prime minister. So don't bother who will act as prime minister. You never act one day. So don't bother about that at all. Bother about the state of the country. Bother about the state of crime. The people of San Fernando have been brutalized by crime, brothers and sisters. I born and grew up in San Fernando. I know San Fernando was a place when you finished school, you used to walk around on the streets. You never used to rush home for taxi, you know. You used to go down High Street by Stevens and Johnson's and thing and lime a bit. Correct? You used to go in Carlton Center and relax and lime a little bit. If you walk High Street now, you walk Carlton Center now, you will not even see a stray dog. San Fernando has collapsed. The business community is reeling in San Fernando. The working class has been decimated under the PNM. And that is why we have a workers' agenda that we have outlined in detail to rescue the workers of Trinidad and Tobago, to create jobs, return industry, circulate income, bring prosperity and opportunity to our young people. I mean, the hypocrisy of these people. They take away the laptop and now talking about they want technology for youth. And Stuart Young said the young people of this country must have internet access. How you get internet access from a calculator? You take away the laptop and like he forget that. Like these people just forget what they do yesterday. They forget that. Today, Rowley talking and he made a most outrageous remark. Again, between you and me, I was just flicking through something and passing through, so I happened to see him now. He said that we mustn't bad talk the government. We mustn't bad talk the government on their management of the economy because the international people listening and they may downgrade us. That's what the fella say, no? Let me tell you something with Mr. Rowley. You told us you have 5 dogs. You must get up every day and go and walk the dog. Leave this politics completely because he is getting. So we cannot ill speak the economic management of our country because the economy will collapse. That is in rubbish that Rowley is speaking, talking all big words and fancy language while they have decimated the economy. They cannot find $3 billion. The Auditor General, pick it up, $3 billion. Brothers and sisters, one issue and one issue alone I want to raise tonight with you. And the hypocrisy continues. I just got a letter from someone here who was very kind to give me. This is a letter from the HDC. Today I hear Stuart Young and Rowley promising when we get into office, we will give out house, we will give out land. Brothers and sisters, when we were in office, we gave out 100 houses per week. Jerlene John said recently, and I pretended not to hear. When Jerlene talked that, I pretend I didn't hear. She said, when we get back in office, we will give out 500 houses per week. That is work. That is work, man, work. That is work. And Jerlene John has made a commitment. She's a dynamic lady. She will not speak that way unless she knows we can do it. In 2007, I have a letter, 24th August 2007. A letter, the PNM in power, 2007. HDC letter signed by Managing Director. I want to pass a law when we get in government that anybody who's signing a letter must type their name below it. People that sign letter and then you just see like a cockroach dipping ink and run across and you can't make out who signed, but they just say Managing Director because they're scared now that we pick up the name easily. HDC, dear sir, madam, the Trinidad and Tobago Housing Development Corporation is pleased to inform you that your application has been selected for possible allocation of a lot of state land. 2007, I will not tell you the name of the person who got the letter, but that person is still waiting in 2025 for the promise of a lot of land. That is PNM promise, you know. Look the letter in my hand. I won't name the person, but they are waiting for that. Brothers and sisters, a strange thing has happened with dire consequences for the workers and the economy. And I'll tell you now. In 2010, when we are about to get into office, it was May 24th, I think, yes. The Friday before the election, a PNM-appointed NIDCO board took a decision and indicated that OS, and they're talking so much about OS and bond and so on. I won't talk about that tonight, but that's what they speak about. They took a decision and said that OS is the preferred bidder for the San Fernando to Point Fortin Highway. They took the decision. When we get into office, we said, okay, we want to build this highway, very important for the people of South Trinidad, Point Fortin and so on. There's a hold up, but we already tell people they're the preferred bidder. They have some type of legal rights and so on now because they have been awarded in that sense, and they are the preferred bidder. We said, but you did this the Friday before the election. Okay, we had to meet and treat. We went through a long process and so on. Things, OS continued and so on. But we were saddled with OS because they made them a preferred bidder that carries certain legal entitlements. Do you know I have in my hand a document dated, let me get close and let me put on my glasses for that, yes? This thing is serious. It is dated April 14, 2025. What's the date today? 16, good, 48 hours ago. This document is dated April 14, 2025. Port Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, matter for consideration of the Cabinet Oversight Committee. Evaluation report on the invitation to tender for the public-private partnership project of the Port of Spain. Let me repeat that. Evaluation report on the invitation to tender for the public-private partnership project for the Port of Spain. And it goes through some technical detail. I won't read it for you, but the long and short is that they invited companies, international firms and so on, in shipping, we assume, and they invited them to tender for a private-public partnership with the Port of Spain, where they will lease the assets. They will surrender the assets of the people of Trinidad and Tobago to a foreign company. They invited them to tender. 6 prospective bidders tendered and so on in July 17, 2024. That's last year, of course. And they outlined the tendering and so on. They said the prospective tenderer must demonstrate 1, 2, 3. The members of this board, we must identify them. In the interest of transparency, we must identify them. I'm sorry, but we must. Chairman Nigel Edwards, Executive Director, Trinidad and Tobago Unit Trust Corporation. Executive Director appointed by who? By who? Jonathan Suhan, Acting Treasury Solicitor, Ministry of Finance. Demi John Quickshaw, Member of the Executive of the Tobago Chamber. Dominic Rampasad, President, Phoenix Gas Processors. Shalana Mahabir, Representative, Ministry of Finance. Commodore Garnett Best, Representative of the Ministry of Works. Candice Gomez Batiste, Representative of the Port Authority. Majority of people here are appointed by the PNM government in one form or fashion. So they tell us a summary of it, and they indicate to us that after they went and checked through everything and so on, the people submitted, the bidders submitted what is called legal documents and what is called commercial documents. And the commercial tender and the legal documents were submitted and so on. And they went through and they outlined some technical details and so on. But they have made a recommendation. They have made a recommendation to accept the bid, and they call it a prospective tenderer, coming out of the evaluation process using the evaluation criteria and so on. This committee has determined that the tenderer, International Container Terminal Services Incorporated, has successfully fulfilled the requirements of the RFP and the PPP agreement. You understand what happened? They are telling an international firm, you have successfully completed it. And we understand that in the final round, only one firm submitted the final documents. So one firm submitted final documents, no more, out of 6 or so. And this corporation is from the Philippines. It is from the Philippines. Not Philippines, South Trinidad here. The Philippines. Who are they? What are they? Who are they connected to? That you will take the assets, millions and millions of dollars of assets, and pass it to them on the eve of a general election. Tonight we want to ask them, what is the status of the workers? They have had no consultation with the Cement and Waterfront Workers Union, the recognized union there. There's a collective bargaining process. There are collective agreements in place. What is the status of that with this arrangement? They have outstanding collective negotiations taking place. Brothers and sisters, they have a matter, an outstanding 12% wage increase that was from 2015, when the Port Workers Union negotiated with the Port Authority and agreed on 12%. The PNM government, they never recognized that agreement. What happens to the 12%? No. What happens to the workers? Over 1,500 port workers, their necks are on the block. They are on the chopping block if this sees the light of day, brothers and sisters. And they come to do this on the eve of an election. So when we get in there, is the OS all over again that we have to face. Tonight I ask them, they are going to privatize the port. Did they follow the procurement legislation? Today I ask, did the procurement regulator intervene and had anything to do with this proposal to at least surrender the assets of the people of Trinidad and Tobago? Brothers and sisters, they are setting a trap for the workers and an incoming government by placing a legal regulatory framework in place where we have to meet and treat with what they determine to be a preferred bidder. Not us, they. And did they do this with the Petrotrin refinery? Huh? Did they do this as well, to have a preferred bidder that nobody knows about and give away the assets at the refinery? That will not happen. We have committed to working with the OWTU to reopen the refinery in Trinidad and Tobago. So nobody are coming from Norway and taking that refinery. And I want to assure you, just as I assure you tonight, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa is very clear, there will be no house building on 3rd Street, San Fernando by my Modsec school. There will be none. There will be no selling out of the assets of the port of Port of Spain to any foreign company. Tonight I ask, Mr. Seotiong, is this deal, does this have any connection to global finance of your brother, where your brother is a senior official of global finance? Is that company involved in this transaction? Is it involved? Did they play any part? Why was there a secret deal with this company who came in under the shadow of darkness? Nobody never hear about them. But we read now that they had what? Site tours and touring the place and thing. When they toured the place, nobody knew that. But they were touring, brothers and sisters. This is the PNM's trademark of selling out and surrendering the assets of Trinidad and Tobago on the eve of a general election. This speaks of kickback. Why do you do this? Because nothing will happen between now and the election. No port not developing, no port not good. They're not going to change management. They will do nothing. We are asking the question, who was involved in this deal? Were there any unscrupulous activities taking place, nefarious activities behind the scene concerning this project? This project must be reviewed, revised, brothers and sisters, and we commit tonight for transparency, openness, and honesty in dealing with the people's asset. You cannot take up assets like the Port of Port of Spain and just surrender it to anybody, just so without the participation of the workers. And knowing what is the fate of the workers, will all 1,500 have to go home and then you hire back 100 of your selected people? No, no, no. That, as Philip Watts tells us, that is working here tonight. Not tonight. And that will not work for the people of Trinidad and Tobago as we come to this election. So the port workers, your families, your friends, tonight I tell you, take note, be vigilant. They intend to retrench you and send you home, terminate your employment. And Stuart Young is on record in Hansard when he said when you close down a company, you don't have to pay severance. You close down the company. Interesting, huh? He's on record in Hansard. He said when you close down a company, you don't have to pay severance. Watch them for closing down the port if, God forbid, they return. And this will be the model for Wassa as well. They will shut down Wassa for a month or so, open a new company and throw away all the workers. And say, well, we don't have to pay nothing. We don't have to pay nothing. The law doesn't provide for that. So tonight we call upon the procurement regulator to tell us about this deal. Name the PNM financiers that are involved in this project. This is an election financing project. Name the financiers, brothers and sisters, who are involved in this deal tonight. Name them. So brothers and sisters, tonight I don't want to delay you, keep you very long, because I know we have been here for some time. But to tell you, we have a great candidate in Michael Dowlett. A humble, this is a humble, educated, brilliant gentleman with vast experience in social work, in the educational sector. He is deserving of your vote in San Fernando West. He is deserving of my vote in San Fernando West. He is a mild-mannered gentleman, not someone that will abuse you, shoots at you when you come with your problem by him. He will listen. That is what representation is all about, brothers and sisters. Today I was walking the street of Debe with some friends, and a gentleman wanted to talk to me. I told him, I said, hold on. I told the people walking with me, I said, hold on. This man is waiting here for a long time to talk to me. I have to hear what he has to say. And then we have to take whatever action we can to help. That is representation. That is Michael Dowlett. Tonight we endorse him as the next member of parliament. In San Fernando East, the choice is simple, a simple choice. Focus on. I can't say love. But I was also a candidate for San Fernando East, Sadiq remembers well, in the year 2000. And we did well. But this year, we're not doing well. We're winning well. With a dynamic, energetic candidate. I told him, we in Parliament 5 years now with Brian Manning. Lakram Bodo is here, Barry Padarat is here. The next member of Parliament for the constituency of Couva South. Give him a round of applause, the Honorable Barry Padarat. We have Dr. Lakram Bodo, the next member of Parliament for Oropouche West. I'm looking, it's a little dark for other candidates that I can see. Of course, he's there behind the light. Please welcome Sean Sobers, the next member of Parliament for the constituency of Tabaquite. Brothers and sisters, I told him Brian Manning is in the Parliament 5 years. Lakram, how much time you ever hear him talk? how much years? 5 years, you hear him talk 3 times. And anytime he get up to talk, all of us used to start packing our briefcase and brief bags because we knew they were going to adjourn the parliament because he was called the night watchman. When he get up to talk is when you lift the bales. He's the night watchman. Every time he get up, that the parliament was adjourned in the middle of a sentence when he's speaking, you know. Camille didn't even wait for him to finish his sentence. They adjourned a parliament in the middle of a sentence. That fella is a night watchman in San Fernando East. He was also a night watchman for one little shift. The next member of parliament will be John Michael Alibokas. The people of San Fernando have a lot to be proud of the UNC candidates in this upcoming election. Brothers and sisters, a note tonight to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. On April 28th, remember, when the UNC wins, everybody wins. And we invite you to come out and vote for all your UNC candidates. Come out and vote for the Congress of the People candidates. Come out and vote for the PEP candidates. Come out and vote for our candidates in Labre and Point Fortin of the OWTU under the UNC symbol. Brothers and sisters, on the evening of April 28th will be a glorious victory for the United National Congress. On that evening, we will return Kamla Persad-Bissessar as the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and we will return our country to security, prosperity, and opportunity for all. Thank you all. God bless you.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Come on, let's hear it for the lion. The man from Oropushis, Deputy Political Leader, Dr. Rudal Monilal. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask our candidates to come up, those of you who are our winning candidates, led by Dr. Michael Dowlat. And I'd like to invite our President General, Mr. Roger, if you would join them as well. And Mr. Padarat is here as well. Please come up and join us. Let's get some music. Before the music starts, let me just give you a quick announcement. Tomorrow night, from Tunapuna, I'd like to invite all of you and all of you who are watching all parts of Trinidad and listening. We have the Political Leaders Town Hall meeting in Tunapuna. It's going to be at Hillview College from 7 p.m. And our political leader is there. She's going to be contributing and hosting as usual. So please write it down in the calendar. Tomorrow night, Tunapuna Town Hall meeting at Hillview College. Now I want to bring on Swappy, and he's going to end the program together with all our winning candidates for the Coalition of Interest. Swappy.
UNC, yeah. Only come the man. When UNC wins, everybody wins. Hey, hey. This is our life. This is our culture. We are a people loving together. This is our place. This is our land. We have a plan. Let's take a stand. If you feel it in your heart and you feel it in your face, let us all unite and rise, rise, rise. Time to form a new start. Spread love, no more pain. Let us all unite and rise, rise. Let's make it up on Trinidad. Make it up on Tobago. When UNC wins, everybody wins. Make it up and let's be wise. We will rise. We will rise. Rise. UNC, this is the time to get we country back to it. Family, every creed and race is up to you and me. Now is the time. Make a decision. UNC, we have the vision. Take control. Cast your votes. UNC, let it be known. If you feel it in your heart, and you make some noise for them, so unite and rise. Time to form a new start. Spread love, no more pain. Let us all unite and rise.
Yes, I need Bacholia.
Come together and
UNC
we have the vision.
Make some noise for the candidates. Wanna make some noise for the Wanna make some noise, man? 1, 2, on the way of the plan. So,
if you feel it in your heart and you feel it in your face, let us all unite and rise. Time to form a new start. Spread love, no more pain.
let's wave it so. Let's make it up on Trinidad, make it up on Tobago. UNC to the universe, make it up and let's be wise. We will rise. Somebody say UNC.
Yeah. Let's bring it to the stage now, Chubby and Majestic.
Good night, my people. How are you doing? Get in line. Don't play man. We run back Trinidad. Put them out. Get them out. Don't play man. We run back Trinidad.
It's time for we to rise up again. We say hello, we say poor. Too many years we've been suffering. We say hello, we say poor. Let me hear ya. Yellow is the code. Put your ex-body right and son. Yellow is the code. UNC the chosen ones. Yellow is the code. Roll it to one, feel we dumb. When UNC win, everybody win.
Come meet them. I distribute UNC, I go beat them. Trinidad, we ain't problem. Time to stop them. You better watch them. PNM is the problem. Look at people, they condemn. No future for the children. Time for revenge. We are gonna beat them.
Hi, my name is Hannah Henry, and at the age of 12 years old, I passed for Bishop Anstey High School. At the time, I didn't have access to a laptop, and my mom couldn't afford it. But thankfully to the UNC government, I was able to have access to one, and it was so much easier to not have to worry about sending in my assignments on time. And I'm so grateful. Thanks, Auntie Cams. When UNC wins, everybody wins.